Struggle is not your enemy. It's the force that's shaping you into a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. Every tough moment you face, every challenge you overcome, is building your strength, your character, and your future success. It's easy to wish for the easy road, but let me tell you, it's the struggles, the setbacks, the hard times that truly define who you become. Today, we're going to explore why struggle is actually a gift, not a curse. We'll talk about how every obstacle you encounter is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become better than you were before. If you're feeling stuck or thinking about giving up, this is the video you need to watch. You're closer to your breakthrough than you realize. So stay with me, because we're about to turn your struggles into strength. And I promise you won't want to miss a second of what's coming next. Let's get started. Number 1, power of struggle. Let me tell you something that most people don't realize until life forces them to see it. Struggle is the most powerful force for growth. It doesn't feel like it when you're in the middle of it. In fact, when you're struggling, it feels like the world is against you. It feels like nothing is working. And it's easy to wonder, why me? Why do I have to go through this? But let me ask you something. Have you ever met a truly strong person who had an easy life? Have you ever met someone truly successful who never had to fight for something? The answer is no, because struggle is the price you pay for strength. It's the fire that forges character. I want you to think back to a time in your life when you faced a serious challenge. Maybe it was financial, maybe it was emotional, maybe it was something that shook you to your core. In the moment, it felt like the end of the world. You felt lost, confused, maybe even hopeless. But somehow, you made it through. And when you came out on the other side, you weren't the same person. You were stronger. You were wiser. You saw life differently. That's what struggle does. It transforms you, but only if you let it. Most people run from struggle. They see it as something to avoid, something negative. They look for the easy way, the shortcut, the path of least resistance. But let me tell you, there is no shortcut to strength. There is no easy path to greatness. The people who succeed, the people who stand tall, are the ones who embrace their struggles. They didn't wish them away. They didn't quit when things got tough. They used their struggles as fuel. I remember a time in my own life when I faced what felt like an impossible situation. I was broke. I was uncertain about my future. I didn't know how I was going to make it. But instead of complaining, instead of blaming the world, I made a decision. I decided that I was going to use this struggle as my foundation. I was going to learn everything I could. I was going to push through, no matter what. And that decision changed everything, because struggle forces you to grow in ways you never imagined. It forces you to become someone you never thought you could be. See, struggle isn't there to break you. It's there to build you. But you have to be willing to go through it. You have to be willing to take the lessons it offers, because every hardship carries a lesson. Every difficulty is an opportunity to become better, to become smarter, to become stronger. But most people miss this. They see struggle as an obstacle instead of a stepping stone. And that's why they stay stuck. That's why they never reach their full potential. You have to understand that life is not supposed to be easy. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. If you want to be strong, if you want to be successful, if you want to be great, you have to be willing to endure the hard times. You have to be willing to push through the moments when you feel like giving up. Because that's where real strength is built. That's where real character is developed. Let me ask you, what if instead of complaining about your struggles, you started seeing them as opportunities? What if instead of asking, why me, you started asking, what can I learn from this? Imagine how different your life would be if you embraced struggle instead of fearing it. Imagine how much stronger you would be if you faced every challenge with the mindset that this is happening for you, not to you. I'm telling you, struggle is not your enemy. It is your greatest ally. It is the key to everything you've ever wanted. But you have to be willing to go through it. You have to be willing to keep pushing forward when everything inside you wants to quit. That's the price of strength. That's the cost of success. And if you're willing to pay it, you will come out on the other side, stronger than you ever thought possible. So the next time you're struggling, remember this: it's not a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you're growing. It's a sign that you're being shaped into the person you were meant to be. Embrace it. Learn from it. Use it. And never, ever give up. Number 2, why struggle is a gift, not a curse. Let me ask you something. What if I told you that struggle is a gift? Most people don't see it that way. They see struggle as something negative, something to avoid. But I want you to shift your perspective today. Struggle is not a curse. It's not something unfair that life throws at you to make you suffer. Struggle is life's way of preparing you for something greater. It is the process that shapes you, strengthens you, and equips you with the tools you need to succeed. Think about the most successful people in the world. Those who have built incredible businesses, achieved their dreams, or made a real impact. None of them got there without struggle. None of them had a smooth, easy ride. They all faced hardships, setbacks, and failures. But what set them apart was how they responded to those struggles. They didn't complain. They didn't give up. They didn't see struggle as a roadblock. They saw it as a stepping stone. You see, struggle teaches you lessons that nothing else can. It forces you to develop patience, resilience, and discipline. It makes you resourceful. It sharpens your mind and strengthens your will. If you've ever worked toward a difficult goal, you know what I mean. The process wasn't easy. It tested you. It made you question yourself. But if you stuck with it, if you kept pushing forward despite the setbacks, you came out better, stronger, wiser. That's the gift of struggle. I want you to think back to a time in your life when you faced a real challenge. Maybe it was a financial struggle, a personal loss, or a failure that knocked you down. In that moment, it felt overwhelming. It felt like there was no way out, but somehow you kept going. And when you look back now, you can see how that experience shaped you. Maybe it taught you to be more patient. Maybe it made you tougher. Maybe it helped you realize your own strength. That's the power of struggle. Now imagine if everything in life came easy. Imagine if there were no obstacles, no difficulties, no challenges. Sure, it might sound good at first, but without struggle, there's no growth. Without struggle, we stay the same. We never get better, never push ourselves, never realize our true potential. The struggles you face are not there to stop you. They are there to help you evolve. They are there to build you into the person you are meant to become. I know it's hard to see the value of struggle when you're in the middle of it. I know it's easier to wish for things to be simpler, for the road to be smoother. But let me tell you something. Every time you overcome a struggle, you build confidence. You start to trust yourself more. You start to realize that no matter what happens, you have the strength to handle it. And that belief in yourself is priceless. The next time you're struggling, I want you to remember this. Struggle is not happening to you. It's happening for you. Life is not trying to break you. It's trying to build you. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow. Every setback is a lesson in disguise. And if you can start to see struggle as a gift rather than a burden, your entire outlook on life will change. So don't run from struggle. Don't see it as an enemy. Instead, embrace it. Learn from it. Use it. Because one day you will look back and realize that the struggles you faced were the very things that made you into the person you were always meant to be. Number 3, the difference between those who succeed and those who give up. What separates the people who make it in life from the ones who don't? What's the difference between the person who pushes through and achieves their dreams and the person who throws in the towel when things get tough? The answer isn't talent. It isn't intelligence. It isn't luck. It all comes down to one thing: the ability to keep going when most people quit. That's it. You see, life is going to test you. Every goal you set, every dream you have, every big change you want to make, it's going to come with obstacles. And when those obstacles show up, you have a choice. You can either push through, figure it out, and keep going, or you can convince yourself that it's too hard, that it's not meant for you, that maybe it's time to quit. And that choice, that's what separates the winners from everyone else. Most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they quit too soon. They hit a roadblock. And instead of finding a way around it, they stop. They get tired, discouraged, frustrated, and they walk away. And the saddest part, most of them were closer than they realized. Most of them would have made it if they had just kept going a little longer, but they didn't. They let their doubts win. They let their fears convince them that it wasn't possible. And just like that, they gave up on everything they wanted. Now let's talk about the people who don't quit. The ones who push through no matter what. What's different about them? Do they have an easier path? No. Do they avoid struggle? Absolutely not. In fact, they probably struggle more than most people. The difference is they refuse to let that struggle stop them. They don't see obstacles as a reason to quit. They see them as a challenge to overcome. They don't let failure define them. They use it to get better. They don't make excuses. They take responsibility. They adjust, they adapt, and they keep moving forward because they've already decided that quitting is not an option. And that's the key right there. It's not about avoiding struggle. It's about how you handle it when it comes. It's about your mindset. Are you someone who looks for a way out when things get tough? Or are you someone who digs in and fights harder? Because the truth is, every person who has ever succeeded at anything had moments when they wanted to quit. Every single one of them. But the difference is, they didn't. They kept going. And that's why they won. You need to understand this. Success isn't about having everything go right. It's about staying in the game long enough to figure things out. It's about making mistakes and learning from them instead of letting them stop you. It's about refusing to let temporary failures define your long-term future. Because failure is temporary. Struggle is temporary. But quitting makes it permanent. Think about this. If you stop now, if you give up now, where will that leave you? Right back where you started. Right back in the same place, feeling the same frustration, wondering what could have been. And let me tell you, that regret, that's way worse than any struggle you're facing right now. Because the pain of discipline, the pain of pushing through, the pain of trying and failing, that pain is temporary. But the pain of quitting, that pain lasts forever. That pain will eat at you because you'll always wonder what could have happened if you had just kept going. So let me ask you again, what separates the people who succeed from the people who don't? It's not talent. It's not intelligence. It's not luck. It's grit. It's persistence. It's the willingness to keep going, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when it feels like nothing is working. Because the truth is, most people quit too soon. Most people give up right before they would have made a breakthrough. Most people let their fears win. But you don't have to be like most people. You have the choice right now to decide that quitting is not an option for you. To decide that no matter how tough things get, you will keep moving forward. To decide that nothing, no obstacle, no setback, no failure will stop you from achieving what you set out to do. Because that's the difference. That's what it takes. And if you can do that, if you can refuse to quit when things get hard, there is nothing you cannot achieve. So whatever you're going through right now, whatever challenge you're facing, whatever doubt is creeping into your mind, I want you to make a decision right now. I want you to decide that you will not give up, that you will not stop, that you will not quit, no matter how hard it gets, because your future depends on it. Your success depends on it. Your dreams depend on it. The only way you lose is if you stop trying. So don't stop. Keep going. Keep fighting. Keep pushing forward, because that's the difference. That's what separates the winners from the rest. And if you refuse to quit, you will win. It's only a matter of time. Number 4, struggle builds mental and emotional strength. Let me tell you something that most people don't understand. Strength isn't given to you. It's built, and it's built through struggle, through pressure, through hardship. You don't wake up one day mentally tough. You don't suddenly develop emotional strength overnight. You earn it. You fight for it. You go through the kind of moments that test you, that push you to your limits, that make you question whether you even have what it takes. And that's how strength is formed. You see, most people don't want to go through the hard times. They want success without sacrifice. They want confidence without failure. They want growth without struggle. But that's not how it works. The strongest people you know, the ones who are disciplined, unshakable, relentless, didn't become that way because life was easy for them. They became that way because they faced challenges. They endured setbacks. They experienced failure, pain, disappointment. And instead of letting those moments break them, they used them. They learned from them. They built resilience. Think about the times in your life when you felt the most pressure, the most stress, the most pain. Maybe you lost someone you loved. Maybe you failed at something important. Maybe you hit rock bottom. At the time, it probably felt unbearable. It felt like the weight of the world was on your shoulders. But if you look back now, you'll realize that those were the moments that shaped you. Those were the moments that forced you to grow. Those were the moments that made you stronger, whether you realized it or not. And that's the truth about struggle. It doesn't feel like a blessing when you're going through it. It feels like punishment. It feels unfair. It feels like something is wrong. But the reality is, struggle is necessary, because without struggle, there is no growth. Without struggle, there is no strength. You don't get mentally and emotionally tough by living an easy life. You get tough by facing adversity, by being challenged, by being tested. I want you to think about the strongest people in history, the leaders, the warriors, the legends. Do you think their lives were easy? Do you think they got to where they were without facing extreme hardship? No, every single one of them had to fight, had to endure, had to push through the kind of pain that most people would run from. That's why they became great. That's why they became strong. And you are no different. You have that same ability inside you, but you have to be willing to go through the process. You have to be willing to embrace the struggle instead of avoiding it. You might be going through something right now that feels impossible to overcome. Maybe life isn't going the way you planned. Maybe you feel stuck, lost, defeated. Maybe you've been knocked down so many times that you're starting to wonder if getting back up is even worth it. And I'm here to tell you it is. Because this moment, this challenge, this struggle you're facing right now is making you stronger. It is shaping you into the person you need to become. And if you push through, if you refuse to quit, if you take this struggle and use it, you will come out of it tougher, wiser, better than ever before. The problem is, most people don't see struggle as an opportunity. They see it as a problem, as something to escape from. And that's why they stay weak. That's why they never develop the kind of mental and emotional strength that separates the great from the average. But the people who do understand this, the people who lean into struggle, who welcome challenges, who embrace adversity, those are the people who become unbreakable. So the next time life knocks you down, don't see it as the end. See it as a test. See it as a chance to prove to yourself how strong you really are. See it as an opportunity to grow, to develop, to level up. Because every struggle you face is giving you something. It's teaching you something. It's preparing you for something bigger. And if you can shift your mindset, if you can start seeing struggle as a necessary part of your growth, instead of something to avoid, everything will change for you. Strength is built in the moments when you feel like quitting but don't. Strength is built when you keep going, even when you don't see immediate results. Strength is built when you refuse to let your circumstances control you. And that kind of strength, that's what will take you to the next level. That's what will separate you from the rest. That's what will make you unstoppable. So don't run from struggle. Don't complain about it. Don't waste your energy wishing things were easier. Instead, remind yourself that every hardship, every setback, every moment of pain is making you stronger. And if you embrace it, if you push through it, if you refuse to let it break you, you will come out on the other side as someone who cannot be defeated. And that is worth every bit of struggle you will ever face. Number 5, growth comes from resistance, not comfort. Growth doesn't happen when things are easy. It happens when things are hard. It happens when you're uncomfortable, when you're struggling, when you're being tested. That's when you either break or you become stronger. And that's the difference between the people who stay the same and the people who level up in life. Growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from resistance. Think about it. When has there ever been a moment in your life where you truly improved, where you became better, where you became stronger? Without struggle, without challenge, without pushing yourself past your limits, it doesn't happen. Every time you've grown, every time you've elevated yourself to a new level, it was because you went through something difficult. It was because you faced resistance and you pushed through it. That's what growth is. It's fighting through discomfort. It's enduring pain. It's choosing to keep going when everything inside you wants to quit. Most people want to grow, but they don't want to go through the struggle that comes with it. They want to get stronger, but they don't want the weight. They want to be more disciplined, but they don't want to sacrifice. They want success, but they don't want to suffer for it. And that's why they stay stuck. That's why they never reach their full potential. Because they think growth is supposed to be easy. It's not. Growth is hard. Growth is painful. Growth requires you to break through your own limitations. Let's take a real example. Think about the gym. You don't build muscle by lifting light weights that feel easy. You build muscle by lifting heavy weights that challenge you. You tear down your muscles so they can grow back stronger. It's painful. It's uncomfortable. But that's the only way to get results. And life works the same way. If you're never putting yourself in situations that stretch you, that push you, that challenge you, you're never going to grow. You're just going to stay the same. And here's the thing. Most people don't even realize they're choosing comfort over growth. They avoid hard things without even thinking about it. They take the easy route. They make excuses. They procrastinate. Not because they're lazy, but because their mind is wired to avoid discomfort. It's human nature. But if you want to be successful, if you want to become the best version of yourself, you have to rewire that thinking. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You have to seek out resistance instead of avoiding it. Every time you push yourself beyond what you think you can handle, you expand your limits. Every time you refuse to quit when things get hard, you build resilience. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, you grow. And that's the difference between winners and losers. Winners understand that the pain of growth is necessary. They don't run from it. They embrace it. Think about all the people you look up to, the ones who inspire you, the ones who have achieved greatness. Do you think they got there by taking the easy path? No. They got there because they were willing to do what most people won't. They were willing to suffer. They were willing to struggle. They were willing to put themselves through the fire because they knew that's where real growth happens. And now it's your turn. Whatever goal you have, whatever vision you see for yourself, it's going to require you to go through some things. It's going to require you to face resistance, to endure setbacks, to fight through doubt and fear. And you have two choices. You can take the easy route, avoid the struggle, and stay exactly where you are. Or you can embrace the challenge, push through the discomfort, and come out stronger on the other side. It won't be easy. It will test you. It will push you to your limits. But if you can endure, if you can keep going even when everything inside you wants to stop, you will grow in ways you never imagined. You will become stronger, tougher, more disciplined. And that kind of growth, that kind of strength, that's what will set you apart from everyone else. That's what will make you unstoppable. So stop looking for the easy way out. Stop avoiding the hard work. Stop running from struggle. Because every challenge, every setback, every moment of resistance is an opportunity for you to grow. And if you take advantage of those moments, if you lean into the pain instead of running from it, you will become the person you were meant to be. The kind of person who cannot be broken. The kind of person who wins. Number 6, how to use struggle to your advantage. Struggle is not your enemy. Most people run from struggle. They see it as something to avoid, something that holds them back. But the truth is, struggle is one of the greatest tools you have. If you use it right, it can push you forward faster than anything else. It can turn you into the person you were meant to be, but only if you're willing to embrace it. The problem is, most people don't see struggle as an opportunity. They see it as a roadblock. When things get hard, they start complaining. They get frustrated. They ask, why me? They look at successful people and think, they had it easy. They got lucky. They didn't have to go through what I'm going through. But that's a lie. Nobody who has ever achieved anything great did it without struggle. In fact, struggle was the reason they became successful. They used it. They turned pain into power. They took every setback, every hardship, every failure, and they used it as fuel. And that's exactly what you need to do. Instead of looking at struggle as something that's stopping you, start looking at it as something that's shaping you. Every challenge, every obstacle, every difficult moment in your life is preparing you for something bigger. It's making you stronger. It's giving you the experience, the wisdom, the toughness you need to handle the next level. Think about a diamond. A diamond doesn't start out looking valuable. It starts as a piece of carbon, buried under intense pressure, heat, and time. That's what makes it strong. That's what makes it shine. If you take away the pressure, you don't get a diamond. You just get a worthless rock. And the same is true for you. If life was always easy, if you never had to struggle, you wouldn't grow. You wouldn't become stronger. You'd stay the same. But struggle forces you to adapt, to learn, to rise to the occasion. So how do you use struggle to your advantage? How do you take the pain, the frustration, the failures, and turn them into something that makes you better? First, you need to change your mindset. You have to stop seeing struggle as a punishment and start seeing it as a gift. Every time you face a setback, tell yourself, this is making me better. This is making me stronger. This is teaching me something I need to learn. Because if you don't change the way you see struggle, you'll always fight against it. And the more you fight against it, the more you'll suffer. The second thing you need to do is learn from it. Struggle is a teacher. Every time you go through something difficult, there's a lesson in it. Maybe you failed at something. Instead of beating yourself up, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What can I do differently next time? Maybe you're going through a tough time financially. Instead of feeling sorry for yourself, ask, what skills do I need to develop? What do I need to change? Struggle is always giving you feedback, but most people don't listen. They just complain. They just quit. and that's why they never grow. The third thing you need to do is push through it. Most people quit when things get hard. They hit resistance, and they back down, and that's why they never reach their goals. The truth is, struggle is the gatekeeper to success. Every dream, every goal, every big achievement in life is on the other side of struggle. And the only way to get there is to keep going when things get tough. The people who succeed in life are not the ones who never struggle. They are the ones who refuse to let struggle stop them. They feel the pain, but they keep moving. They face the obstacles, but they don't turn around. They get knocked down, but they get back up. And every time they do, they become stronger, tougher, more resilient. If you're going through something hard right now, I want you to hear me loud and clear. This is not the end. This is the process. This is what it takes. This is what's going to separate you from the rest. Every struggle you go through is making you better. Every challenge you face is preparing you for something greater. But you have to use it. You have to take that pain and turn it into power. Success is not about avoiding struggle. It's about using it. It's about taking every hardship and making it work for you instead of against you. It's about realizing that every time you overcome something difficult, you become a stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable version of yourself. So the next time you face a challenge, don't run, don't complain, don't make excuses. Instead, look at it and say, good, this is my chance to grow. This is my chance to prove to myself what I'm really made of. Because once you start seeing struggle as a tool instead of a burden, everything changes. You stop fearing it, you stop avoiding it, and you start using it to push yourself forward. The truth is, struggle is not there to stop you. It's there to shape you. It's there to build you into the person you need to be to handle success. So embrace it, learn from it. Keep pushing forward, no matter how hard it gets, because the ones who can do that, the ones who can take struggle and turn it into strength, those are the ones who win. Number 7, success is earned through persistence. Let me tell you something most people don't want to hear. Success is not given, it's earned. Every single person you see winning in life had to go through something. They had to fight for it. They had to struggle. They had to keep going when most people quit. And that's the difference between the ones who make it and the ones who don't. The ones who make it refuse to give up. They refuse to back down. They refuse to let failure stop them. Too many people want success to be easy. They want it to come without sacrifice, without hardship, without pain. But that's not how life works. Success doesn't care how bad you want it. It doesn't care about your dreams, your goals, your potential. It only responds to effort. It only rewards those who refuse to quit. Think about the last time you really wanted something. Maybe it was a dream job. Maybe it was financial freedom. Maybe it was getting in the best shape of your life. Whatever it was, you probably started with motivation. You were excited. You were ready. You had energy. But then what happened? Life happened. You hit obstacles. You got tired. You faced resistance. And that's where most people stop. That's where most people say, maybe this isn't for me. That's where most people make excuses. But let me ask you something. What if you didn't stop? What if instead of backing down, you kept pushing? What if instead of making excuses, you found a way? What if you treated every setback as a test and refused to let it break you? That's what winners do. They keep going even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, because they understand that the process is not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to challenge you. It's supposed to test your patience, your discipline, your commitment. Because if you can't handle the struggle, you don't deserve the success. Look at the most successful people in the world. They didn't get there by accident. They didn't get there by luck. They got there because they kept going when most people gave up. They got there because they stayed disciplined when most people got distracted. They got there because they were willing to sacrifice, to suffer, to do whatever it took to get to the next level. And you can do the same. But you have to understand one thing. Success is earned. It is not something you get because you deserve it. It is not something that happens just because you want it. It's something you create, step by step, day by day, with your actions. Every choice you make either moves you closer to success or keeps you stuck where you are. So ask yourself, are your actions matching your goals? Are you really doing the work? Are you really pushing yourself? Or are you just talking about it? Because talking doesn't get results. Wishing doesn't build success. The only thing that works is effort. The only thing that works is consistency. The only thing that works is refusing to quit, no matter how tough it gets. Most people quit because they don't see immediate results. They go to the gym for a few weeks, and when they don't see a six-pack, they stop. They start a business, and when they don't make money right away, they give up. They try to change their life, but when it doesn't happen fast enough, they go back to their old ways. And that's exactly why they fail. Because they're looking for shortcuts. They're expecting overnight success. But success doesn't work like that. Success takes time. It takes patience. It takes effort. Every single day. Even when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it. Because that's the difference between winners and losers. Losers only show up when they feel motivated. Winners show up no matter what. They show up when they're tired. They show up when they're stressed. They show up when they have every excuse not to. Because they understand that consistency is the key. And that's what you need to understand. If you want success in anything, your career, your fitness, your finances, your relationships, you have to commit to it fully. You can't just show up when it's convenient. You can't just work hard when you feel like it. You have to be all in every single day, no matter what, because that's what it takes. That's what separates the people who make it from the people who don't. Success is not for the weak. It's not for the people who are looking for an easy way out. It's not for the people who give up when things get tough. It's for the people who are willing to suffer for it. It's for the people who are willing to fail over and over and still keep going. It's for the people who are willing to put in the work day after day, even when they don't see immediate results. So if you want to win, stop looking for the easy way. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop making excuses. Get to work. Stay consistent. Keep pushing forward and refuse to quit. Because if you can do that, if you can keep going no matter what, you will earn your success. You will reach your goals. You will become everything you were meant to be, but only if you're willing to fight for it. Number 8, importance of self-discipline in tough times. Let me tell you something that most people don't realize until it's too late. Your ability to stay disciplined when things get tough is the deciding factor between success and failure. It's not your talent. It's not your intelligence. It's not even luck. It's discipline. It's your ability to stay committed to the process, even when everything inside you is screaming to quit. Most people don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they're not consistent. They fail because the moment things get uncomfortable, they start looking for an escape. They look for distractions. They look for the easy way out. And that's why they stay stuck. Because they haven't trained themselves to push through discomfort. They haven't developed the discipline to keep going when things don't feel good. Discipline is not about motivation. Motivation comes and goes. You wake up one day feeling inspired, ready to take on the world, and the next day you don't even feel like getting out of bed. That's just how it works. That's why you can't rely on motivation. You need something stronger. You need discipline. Because discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline doesn't negotiate. It doesn't take a day off. Discipline says, I don't care if you're tired. I don't care if you don't feel like it. You show up anyway. That's the difference between winners and losers. Losers only show up when they feel like it. Winners show up no matter what. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They don't wait for things to get easier. They just do the work every single day, no matter what. And that's why they succeed. Because they don't let their emotions control their actions. They don't let their feelings dictate their progress. They decide who they're going to be, and they commit to that decision every single day. Think about the last time you set a goal. Maybe you wanted to lose weight. Maybe you wanted to start a business. Maybe you wanted to change your life. You probably started strong. You had energy. You had excitement. But then what happened? Life happened. You got tired. You got busy. You lost motivation. And suddenly that goal didn't seem as exciting anymore. That's where most people quit. That's where most people give up on themselves. And that's exactly why they don't get what they want. But imagine if you didn't quit. Imagine if instead of giving up, you doubled down. Imagine if instead of making excuses, you found a way. Imagine if you built the discipline to keep going, even when you didn't feel like it. Where would you be 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now? That's the power of discipline. It's the difference between staying stuck and moving forward. It's the difference between success and failure. Look at the most successful people in the world. They didn't get there because they felt like working hard every day. They didn't get there because things were easy for them. They got there because they were disciplined. They got there because they made a decision to commit to the process, no matter how hard it got. And you can do the same thing. But you have to be willing to hold yourself accountable. You have to be willing to do the work, even when you don't see immediate results. Because that's what discipline is. It's doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. Too many people are controlled by their emotions. They let temporary feelings dictate their long-term success. They skip workouts because they're tired. They slack off because they don't feel motivated. They put things off because they're not in the mood. And then they wonder why their life never changes. It's because they're waiting to feel like taking action. And that's a mistake. Because success is not about how you feel. It's about what you do consistently over time. Discipline is a choice. It's something you build. It's something you train. Just like a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it gets. The more you push yourself to do what's necessary. Instead of what's comfortable, the easier it becomes. But it starts with a decision. It starts with the decision to stop making excuses. It starts with the decision to stop waiting for motivation. It starts with the decision to take control of your own life. So ask yourself, are you really committed to your goals, or are you just interested? Because if you're just interested, you'll do what's easy. You'll only show up when you feel like it. You'll find excuses when things get hard. But if you're committed, if you're truly committed, you will do whatever it takes. You will stay disciplined no matter what. You will push through even when it's uncomfortable. And that's what will separate you from everyone else. The truth is, life is not going to wait for you. Opportunities are not going to wait for you. Success is not going to wait for you. You either step up and take control, or you watch as life passes you by. And if you want to win, if you want to be successful, if you want to build the life you've always wanted, you have to stop making excuses. You have to stop relying on motivation. You have to develop discipline. Because at the end of the day, that's what it all comes down to. Not talent, not luck, not motivation, discipline. The ability to do what needs to be done, day in and day out, no matter how you feel. That is what separates the ones who make it from the ones who don't. That is what determines whether you succeed or fail. So make a decision today. Decide that from this moment forward, you are going to be disciplined. Decide that you are going to do the work, no matter what. Decide that you are no longer going to be controlled by your emotions. And then prove it. Not with your words, but with your actions. Every single day. Because that's what it takes to win. That's what it takes to succeed. And if you can do that, if you can build that level of discipline, there is nothing in this world that can stop you. Number 9. Breakthrough always comes after the struggle. Breakthrough always comes after the struggle. I want you to really take that in. Sometimes we're so focused on the pain, the effort, and the frustration of the struggle that we forget one key thing. Nothing worth having comes easy. It's easy to think when things get tough that you've hit a wall. It's easy to think that this is it, that your dreams, your goals, your progress are out of reach. But that's the lie. That's the lie that we tell ourselves when the going gets hard. The truth is, struggle is the very thing that leads you to your breakthrough. Let me tell you something I've learned over the years. Every time I faced a tough situation, a time where I felt like I was losing or about to quit, the only thing that pushed me forward was the understanding that this wasn't the end. I've been there. I know what it's like to feel stuck. I've felt the weight of doubt pressing down on my shoulders. I've questioned whether all the sacrifices were worth it. But you see, that's where most people make a mistake. They stop right before their breakthrough. Struggle isn't something you should fear. It's not something that should cause you to run in the other direction. You can't be afraid of the struggle, because on the other side of struggle is growth. On the other side of struggle is progress. On the other side of struggle is victory. But you have to stay in the game long enough to see it. You've got to stay committed, even when you don't feel like it. You have to push forward when everything inside of you is screaming to give up. Let me put it this way. If you're going through something right now, something that's testing you, something that's pushing you to the edge, I want you to look at it differently. Instead of looking at it as something that's holding you back, look at it as a challenge that is shaping you. Look at it as something that is building your mental toughness, your emotional resilience, and your overall strength. Every obstacle you face, every difficulty, every setback is preparing you for something bigger, something better. You're not meant to stay stuck in struggle forever. No, my friend, you're meant to rise above it. The struggle is just the stepping stone to your breakthrough. It's that tough season of life that you'll look back on and realize was one of the most important parts of your journey. Why? Because it made you who you are. It shaped you into the person you needed to become to handle the success that was coming. Without struggle, there's no growth. Without challenge, there's no victory. Think about the most successful people you admire. They didn't get there by sitting in comfort. They didn't get there by avoiding struggle. They got there because they understood something crucial, that the struggle is what forges strength. The struggle is what teaches you the lessons that you need to learn. The struggle is what separates the ones who make it from the ones who quit. You see, it's easy to be a quitter. It's easy to say, this is too much, I'm done. But if you want to succeed, if you want to make it to the other side, you have to commit to the struggle. You have to commit to working through the pain. You have to commit to not giving up when everything inside of you is telling you that it's easier to walk away. I want you to remember this. Every time you face a challenge, every time you feel like throwing in the towel, you have a choice. You can either walk away or you can dig in your heels and keep pushing. I'm telling you right now, the breakthrough comes to those who keep going. It's not for the ones who give up when it's hard. It's not for the ones who bail out when the going gets tough. No, the breakthrough is for the ones who keep their head up, who keep their heart strong, who keep pushing forward even when the road is unclear. And let me tell you, there is something absolutely powerful on the other side of struggle. When you make it through the hard times, when you face the obstacles and you've come out stronger, that's when you will know what you're truly capable of. That's when you'll see how far you've come. And it's not just about reaching the goal, it's about who you become along the way. When I look back on my life, the times that stand out the most are the times when I was pushed to my absolute limit. Those were the moments when I had to dig deep. Those were the moments when I had to believe in myself more than I had ever believed before. And let me tell you, I didn't see the breakthrough immediately. It wasn't instant. But when it came, when that breakthrough finally came, it was worth every moment of struggle, every drop of sweat, every ounce of effort. It all paid off. So if you're in a tough spot right now, if you're feeling like you're stuck or defeated, I want you to understand something very important. You are not alone. The struggle you're facing is part of the process. It's part of the journey. And if you can just hold on, if you can just stay the course, that breakthrough is coming. It's right there, just beyond the horizon. Now let me give you a piece of advice. When the breakthrough comes, don't forget the struggle. Don't forget the lessons you learned. Don't forget the strength you gained. The breakthrough isn't just about the success or the goal you reach. It's about the person you become along the way. So embrace the struggle, learn from it, and keep going. Because I promise you, the breakthrough is waiting for you. It's closer than you think. Stay in the game, my friend. Keep pushing. Keep moving forward. Your breakthrough is just on the other side of that struggle. Keep going, and I'll see you on the other side. Number 10, final words of encouragement. You know, at the end of the day, I want to leave you with one final thought. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle, the grind, and the constant striving for success. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the weight of it all, to get discouraged when things aren't going the way you planned. But I want to tell you something that might just change everything for you. The struggle you're going through right now, the one that feels never ending, the one that keeps pushing you to your limit, is exactly what's going to make you who you need to be. You see, there's no growth without struggle. There's no breakthrough without hardship. That's the reality of life. It's not always easy. It's not always comfortable. But that discomfort, that challenge, that resistance, that's the thing that will shape you into the person you need to be to achieve the success you're after. I've been there. I know what it's like to feel stuck. I know what it's like to feel like everything is falling apart, like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, and the goal you're working toward is just too far away. There were times when I thought about giving up, when I felt like throwing in the towel. But here's what I've learned over the years. The moment you think about quitting is usually the moment right before your breakthrough. It's the moment right before everything shifts. So don't give up. Don't stop pushing forward. You've come too far to turn back now. When things get tough, when the struggle feels like it's too much to handle, you've got to remember one thing: it's all part of the process. The struggle isn't here to defeat you. It's here to build you, to strengthen you, and to prepare you for the success that's coming. If you can't handle the pressure now, How are you going to handle the success later? If you can't push through the tough times, how will you appreciate the good times? Success isn't handed to you on a silver platter. It's earned through persistence, grit, and the willingness to keep going even when things aren't easy. And I know it's tough. I know there are days when it feels like you're fighting a battle that never ends. I know that feeling of frustration when you don't see the results you're working so hard for. But I want you to understand something, and I need you to take this to heart. Your breakthrough is right around the corner. It's closer than you think. The struggle you're facing today is only preparing you for the success you'll experience tomorrow. You've got to believe that. You've got to trust that every ounce of effort you're putting in is worth it. When you feel like you can't go any further, when you feel like you've hit a wall, that's the time to dig in your heels and push harder, because you're not far from the finish line. The hardest part is often the last stretch. And once you break through, once you get past that obstacle, you'll realize how much stronger you are. The key to all of this is persistence. It's the ability to keep going when everything inside of you is telling you to quit. It's that fire in your heart that refuses to let you give up, even when the road gets tough. Persistence is what separates the winners from the losers. It's the difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who never see them come true. The people who succeed are the ones who stay in the game, who keep fighting, who keep pushing forward. No matter how difficult it gets, it's not about how fast you get there. It's not about how easy the journey is. It's about how committed you are to making it happen. No matter what, success isn't a straight line, and it's not always going to be pretty. There are going to be bumps along the way. There are going to be moments of doubt, of fear, of frustration. But those are the moments that count the most. Those are the moments when you're building character, when you're learning the lessons that will serve you later on. Now, I want to encourage you to keep going. No matter what, I know it's hard. I know there are times when you'll feel like giving up. But I'm here to tell you that your breakthrough is coming. The struggle you're facing right now is preparing you for something bigger, something greater, something you can't even imagine yet. The only thing that stands between you and your success is your willingness to keep going when it gets tough. You are capable of more than you think. You are stronger than you realize. And every challenge you face is only making you stronger. It's helping you develop the mental toughness, the emotional resilience, and the strength you need to handle whatever comes your way. So keep moving forward. Keep pushing yourself. Don't let the struggle defeat you. Let it empower you. Use it to fuel your drive, to fuel your ambition, and to propel you toward the success you deserve. And when you finally make it to the other side, when you finally achieve what you've been working for, I want you to look back and realize something. The struggle wasn't something to be feared. It was the very thing that made your success possible. Without it, you wouldn't be the person you are today. You wouldn't have the strength, the wisdom, or the resilience to handle what's coming next. So don't give up. Don't quit. Your breakthrough is just around the corner. And when it comes, you'll realize that everything you went through, every moment of struggle, every challenge, every obstacle was worth it, because it got you here. It got you to where you are today, and it's going to get you to where you're going tomorrow. Keep going. Stay focused, and remember, the best is yet to come.